one under his leadership, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Anybody that is confusing anyone or telling you there is another, no, there is nothing. There's just one, recognized by His Excellency Simon Ekpa. And we can pray. Once he has that communication, Biafrans, we understand that Obato Obie does not take no crap from nobody. No matter who you are, you must respect that authority. That authority is the only thing that can protect all of us. But we thank God, somebody said this is a transition period. If these things does not happen, Biafrans will not know who is following our prime minister, who wants him to fail, who wants him to be out.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you once again to this amazing platform where we disseminate information that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. I appreciate everyone that has connected to this platform. This is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform that stands for the United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the supreme command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, COS interim. I welcome all of you to this very platform. Happy New Year to everyone that is watching, wherever you are watching from. We are in a new year. And as we enter the new year, many people are asking questions and they say, what next? Where is the way to go? The way to go is simple. We are pursuing the recognition of the United States of Biafra and the restoration of Biafra fully on the ground. That is the phase where we are today. Every one of us must continue to give our contribution the best way we can. And remember, I urge you to like and share. Share to your neighbors, share to your family, share to everyone to key in and join us on this gospel. Do not be distracted. Regardless what you hear, regardless what you see, regardless the propaganda and blackmail that is flying from right, left, and center, do not get distracted. Be focused, because Biafra have been declared on the 29th of November 2024, and there is no going back. We are pursuing the recognition of Biafra.
Niger Delta militants are able to produce diesel in this country in large quantities.
They still produce kerosene. In fact, they bragged. There was a time they said that the kerosene that they're selling in most filling stations are supplied by them.
Yes. Okay. So if Niger Delta militants can be doing, the old style biology class distillation, how is it that the federal government cannot do the same thing? But don't forget that these same people that claim that they can't build refineries went and built refinery in Ivory Coast. Yes, under Jonathan. And we are importing fuel from there. There's a refinery in Niger. Niger doesn't even have oil. They're selling fuel to Nigeria. How is that Nigeria cannot build refineries? Even the Dangote refinery, the famed Dangote, was built how many years ago? It was after occupying Nigeria that he built his refinery. Bua is going to finish his refinery very soon. All these guys benefited from forex provided by Nigerian government to build their refineries. The people who provided the environment, the support, the letters of credit cannot build, but the people they gave it to have become billionaires.
Okay, so you more like
refineries.
You like what the president is doing. I mean,
I don't like
one. No, you said you were going to refurbish the refinery.
No.
I'm not going to. One is working. One is working. They are working in Kaduna refinery.
Let me break down this to you. Let me start from Kaduna.
Okay.
They cannot fix Kaduna refinery in another 5 years.
Why?
There is no pipeline available anymore that can take crude to.
Is it just a pipeline, or because remember that Kaduna refinery does not refine Nigerian crude?
Yeah.
So that means we are not
even going there.
Okay.
But what they will do with Kaduna, I will tell you, this camp, is they will start trucking crude to the place, and that will be another opportunity for fraud. all the refineries they claim they have repaired.
Yes, Warri and Port Harcourt one.
Is not producing up to 1 million liters per day.
Yes. How do you know this?
It's because we get, no matter what they tell you, there is a document that comes out of the refineries on a daily basis. And tell them to release it to the public, they will be embarrassed. Dangote refinery, with all its capacity, is about 5 million liters of petrol per day. And the Nigerian side of the refineries is using naphtha. They still have to go and blend at a dorama before it can become petrol. Otherwise, it will ruin your car engine. But do you know how many liters of crude we have to consume every day? I mean, petrol or gasoline we consume every day? 42 million. All of these guys combined are producing 6. And they are jubilating over it.
Are you sure we really consume 42 million? Because that's still in contention as to the actual capacity of consumption.
I'm glad you said that, but that's the official information that we have of our consumption. And that's why a new president like me is needed, because I would have been able to immediately ensure that what we are consuming is what the state we are consuming. Because that's where the fraud comes from. You know, what happens at these ports in Lagos and wherever ports they bring is one of the greatest crime against Nigerian economy.
All right, so speaking about this very quickly before we run off to other conversations, there's been some sort of silent war between NNPC, Dangote, the federal government, that's, you know, and then mortar, blend plants, accusations and all that. Would you like to speak to those very
Those ones are just...
Or do you think they're mere distractions? Because some people think they're just mere distractions.
Look, even among thieves, there is no honor. Yes, so they're always fighting because it's Nigerian resources that's at stake, and it's free money. So Dangote but those are not issues you should fight. You should concern yourself because they find it easy to resolve. They have conflict resolution mechanism in place that's better than what you can think traditional rulers, you know, because it's a real estate. They can't afford for the real estate to fall apart. That's why there are fights. Whenever you are following it, maintain your own reasonable distance. Otherwise, you just fall into their tricks. Dangote, I told you that, you know, he just had a refinery, it's producing locally. His interest is profit, right?
Naturally.
But the Nigerian NNPC said they invested over 2 billion in Dangote refinery.
They even borrowed.
Yes. Dangote is now saying that he didn't see what they claim to have invested. He has downgraded on his own the investment to about 7%. But the question you should ask yourself is, why are you investing Nigerian money in a private refinery project when you see government has no business in business? Is that not what they tell us all the time? So why do you take government money that should have gone to education to invest in a private refinery? That you know the owner will do whatever he wants with it. And when the commission Dangote's refinery wasn't producing pure water, today they claim it's producing 5 million. But you can't even confirm that because of what I just said earlier, that there's no honor among thieves. They have to fight themselves because they must have changed themselves along the way.
All right.
But they will resolve all that because it's all about greed.
So, sorry, one last thing from me before we move. Do you think you have what it takes, you know, to confront the oil cabal?
Oh.
Very strong cabal.
I
mean, the Dangote has been sweating because of this cabal. Do you think Omoyele Sowore has what it takes to confront this cabal?
When I was 21 years old, I confronted, alongside others, no doubt, the strongest cabal in this country, the Nigerian military. We drove them out of power in 1993. I'm sure you were around at that time. We drove Babangida out of power. He said he stepped aside, he never stepped back in. So, and I have been involved consequently in the struggle fighting cabals, either through protests, through the media arm that I founded. So cabals are not difficult people to fight if you have courage, you have knowledge. In fact, you are intellectually sound, because the easiest way to defeat them is with facts, first and foremost. And when they are presented with it, they melt evidence. And that's some struggle I've fought over the years. It's a battle of grit.
All right, so speaking
but
about
also
facts.
of intellect. So there's nothing about these cabals that is difficult, but you cannot use cabal to fight cabal. That's where the problem with Nigeria is. You cannot use thieves to fight thieves. They know themselves.
So speaking about cabals right now, I'm speaking about facts and figures, by the way. The president did have a media chat. He did say a lot of things, and then he had a New Year's speech where he did say a lot of things. And the presidential candidate of the Labour Party had a New Year's speech where he also did say a lot of things. But we're speaking about the hardship in the country. You did state to that hardship in this country. And P2B mentioned quite a lot of things to that hardship. But there seemed to be like some sort of agreement within the present ruling class as to what the real actual situation in Nigeria is. You know, I don't know if you understand exactly what I'm saying. Okay, the point is that when people say that things are hard and they say no, things are rebounding. When people say we have 1.5 million, 150 million Nigerians living in multidimensional poverty, they say no, people are buying cars, building houses, and all of those. In your opinion, the president
said one of his friends had 4 Rolls Royces.
Fantastic. In your opinion,
downgrade.
Exactly.
That's
a downgrade.
Because me, I think.
In your opinion, what is the real situation of Nigeria?
I think that the real situation of things is him saying that he had a guy who had 4 Rolls Royces who is now riding Honda.
Yes.
He has told you the story.
And that made him happy.
Yeah, that things were good before, but they are really bad now. But what he was trying to communicate was a lie, that people are adjusting and cutting their coat according to their size. But the question should go to him. You, as president, how come you didn't cut your own coat or the nation's coat according to your own size? Why was it that in the midst of this, your friend who has 4 Rolls Royces now riding, why did you upgrade your presidential jet from a Boeing business jet to an A340 jet, which was $150 million? That is after the upgrade was done.
And by the way, we still don't have account of where that money came out from.
Exactly. It was not budgeted for. Nobody knew where the money came from. And that tells you that these guys are a bunch of liars. And that tells the story of the two Nigeria that we live in, tale of two cities.
So are Nigerians suffering? Are they hungrier now than ever?
I have been around Nigeria for a while now. I haven't seen this level of hardship.
You haven't seen?
This level of hardship that I saw in last December and this January than I've seen in a long time. And I'm not exaggerating. I've seen people really struggling and suffering. And I mentioned it somewhere. For the first time that I traveled home on the 30th of December, the roads were practically free. If there was traffic, it was caused by police extortion, which was visible on Google Maps. People weren't traveling because they couldn't afford to travel. They couldn't afford to eat. They couldn't afford to celebrate. And they know it. Because what you must understand is that all the statistics about hunger, starvation, and suffering is available to government. They have it.
But the government usually does not address this issue when voices come up to speak. When people speak about the poverty, instead of addressing these issues, they rather attack the characters of those who state about those issues.
Because they have no solutions available to address the issues.
Is that why?
It is why. That's the reason why they are aggressive and very, very feisty. When people, look at what they did in August. Because we were on this show a lot, on your channel a lot in August.
During the protest.
Yes. Look at the way they handled children. Charging children with treason for protesting is the highest level of aggression against people who are hungry. So what they did to those children, is it comparable to what they did to their government critics? And they've expanded the repression of free speech. So every day people are getting arrested for cybercrime. So what they did to Dele, Farotimi.
Oh yes, I was going to speak to that.
Abducted across state lines to Ekiti. And anybody who thinks that Dele was arrested because of Afewa Balola doesn't understand the way Nigerian works.
Really?
No, they have been laying ambush for him. But that was a perfect excuse. to get him and punish him.
So wait, just we have to digest
yes,
this.
no.
So Dele Farotimi, you're saying that
Yes.
Dele Farotimi was not arrested because of the accusations or the things he stated about Afe Babalola in his book.
In case you don't understand, and maybe you didn't follow, after Dele was arrested and sent to prison by the magistrate, the federal government went and charged him fresh in the federal high court.
The federal government? I thought it was someone from Afe Babalola's chambers.
No, there was another charge against him filed by the federal government for cyber. You know that even the Afe Babalola chambers case was Commissioner of Police versus Dele Farotimi. It's the Nigerian state that officially filed the case against him, the police. But the next one, I think, was also Commissioner of Police versus Dele, but the fiat came from the Attorney General's office, that federal cybercrime. So he has 2 charges hanging on his neck in Ekiti. But
why Ekiti anyway?
That's this forum shopping is called. You want to punish somebody, you go and look for a forum where he cannot get justice. It's called forum shopping.
So why do you think the federal government was more interested in, taking charge of the case than the person whom he accused?
Because Dele is offending them and they've been looking for how to deal with him. And that was the perfect opportunity to do so.
Okay.
I am not saying that Afe Babalola, but Afe Babalola understood well that if somebody wrote something against you in a book, it's a civil matter.
Okay, talking about Dele offending them, there seems to be a lot of people that are offending them. Peter Obi is talking, he's quite vocal. Omoyele Sowore is talking, quite vocal. Atiku Abubakar is talking, and a lot of other people. And it does seem like, let's take the issue of Peter Obi now, that is in contention now, the altercation between him and Felix Morka, where Felix Morka said that, look, Obi has crossed the line and he should be ready for the consequences of his action. I want to ask you, is there anything Obi said that you have not said or any other person hasn't said about the economic decline and the suffering in the land? Have you crossed the line?
I have crossed the line since I was in the university.
So you're always within shooting range?
I'm perpetually, I've crossed the line, they've adjusted it, I've crossed it.
So why do you think they don't come out for you the way they come out for Peter Obi?
Was I not charged for treason in this country? Was I not restricted to Abuja for 5 years? Was my brother not shot and killed on a highway in this country? You see, what you must understand is that